Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Tuesday evening, July 16, 2024. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak of Atlantic hurricane season. That's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Leave a comment down below letting me know whether that's been liking your video recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so first things first, let's talk about the earthquake. There was a minor 3.7 magnitude earthquake that was felt at about 5:46 p.m. this late Tuesday afternoon, and we saw that the earthquake unit pinpointed the epicenter south of Hope Bay in Portland, still in eastern Jamaica. Basically similar to the position where we had that earthquake in October, that very memorable one. Either way, it was definitely felt. We have a lot of reports coming in. Some persons felt it, some didn't, but most of them were in Kingston, St. Andrew. We have Josie Mars at O-Team stating, I felt it, nobody else in the office did. Another one, Maxson, stating, felt it. Alicia 86876 felt something, was wondering. Even PF dollar sign director stating, me in the office, I wonder why my desk Joe. Many other comments, too many to read, but we all know the drill when it comes to these natural disasters. They're classified like this: minor earthquakes 3 to 3.9, light earthquakes 4 to 4.9, moderate like what we experienced in October 2023 5 to 5.9, strong, we don't want to experience a strong, major or great, you know, all of those 6 to 9. Either way, we know that when we're experiencing shaking associated with earthquakes, we're supposed to drop, cover and hold on until all the shaking has stopped. Then, you know, we exit the building that we're in and do some inspection for some amount of damage just in case. On another note, we also highlighted the fact that today is the anniversary of when Hurricane Emily passed the south of Jamaica. So it's 19 years ago today, July 16, and it definitely brought strong winds and torrential rainfall. It passed us for the most part as a category 4, then it became a category 5 to the southwest of the island, and it caused 5 fatalities. So yes, 5 persons actually died if you do your research. I believe it was a car that was swept away with some persons in it, and it racked up over 65 million US dollars in damages in Jamaica. That time, 2005, we know that's a lot even more right now in 2024. So yeah, either way, if we take a look at what's usually expected during July 11 to 20, keep in mind that this map is showing where we've had systems form from about 1850 to 2009 if I'm not mistaken, and all of these red dots are showing where we've had systems, tropical storms form, and we can see that yes, we definitely have some of these across the waters of the Main region to the east of the Caribbean, which makes sense because the usual tracks associated with these systems, if I can find it right here, where did it go? Alright, seems like, oh, here it is right here. So the usual tracks associated with these systems right here across the eastern Caribbean, curving westward, then northward across the Gulf of Mexico, maybe affecting sections of the southern United States, or even curving before it enters the greater Antilles, maybe affecting the Bahamas and then the east coast of the United States. Either way, that's what's usually expected during July. But as of right now, there is nothing being highlighted by the U.S. National Hurricane Center, because as of 7:03 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is actually 6:03 p.m. Jamaica time, they've stated that there's no new tropical cyclone activity that's expected during the next 7 days. However, they said something on the Climate Prediction Center. We know it's basically the same company, NOAA, they've actually posted this today, and they've highlighted what's expected during the time period from July 24 to July 30, as well as the time period from July 31 to August 6. And we can see that for the most part, majority of the Caribbean and the main development region for July 24 to July 30 will be in the clear, not much highlighted. But there's some amount of greens that represent above normal rainfall across portions of the western Gulf of Mexico, Central America. They deserve it. We know all of that represents above normal rainfall, as you can see by the key on the bottom. They definitely deserve it, considering the very warm temperatures that they were experiencing in April, May with the heat wave. But we can see that as we head into July 31 to August 6, all of this expands eastward. So we even see the tropical cyclone formation probability in the eastern Pacific extend into the main development region and the Caribbean. We can see it right here. Tropical cyclone development is just a 20% chance of tropical cyclone formation probability, and we can see it even encompassing portions of Jamaica, sections of Cuba, the Haiti region there, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, the Eastern Caribbean in general, and portions of the western main development region. And we also see some light shades of greens embedded in there. So even if we don't get development, there's definitely going to be an increase in the amount of rainfall that's expected as we wrap up July and head into early August. But we know how the tropical hazards outlook from the U.S. Climate Prediction Center is. It's not set in stone. These things can change. Maybe next week, Tuesday, they come out with another one. And for the same time period, for July 31 to August 6, they're showing something completely different. We just have to take these maps with a grain of salt, because they can definitely change. If we take a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can still see the ridge of high pressure right here across the waters to the north of the main development region. That one was responsible for sending all of the easterly trade winds across the main development region into the Caribbean, not to mention all of the dust from the Sahara Desert, as well as these tropical waves from off of the west coast of Africa, one right here across the main development region, one right here affecting the eastern Caribbean. And we can also see numerous troughs across the region. Actually, the troughs that were responsible for the very heavy rainfall that lashed portion of Jamaica this afternoon, and we'll be talking more about that soon. But if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can actually see all of the clouds that we're referring to, but it's not that evident because there's a lot of stable dry air across the basin. So yes, there's a tropical wave somewhere in here across the eastern Caribbean, another tropical wave right here across the main development region, and we can actually see the clouds associated with the trough bringing some thunderstorm activity portions of Jamaica, Haiti, Dominican Republic, and the western tip of Cuba. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean weather later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in this morning's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Tuesday, July 16. It was stated that yes, we would have received some rainfall across sections of some eastern, western, and central parishes, but especially southern Jamaica would have received more of that rainfall during Tuesday afternoon. And just for reference, we know eastern parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey, so Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrew. Central parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Middlesex, so St. Anne, St. Mary, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine. While western parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall, so St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, Trelawney. And southern parishes, we're talking about the parishes such as Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Andrew, and St. Thomas. And what ended up happening? The infrared satellite imagery was posted on our Twitter page. Keep in mind that these posts aren't only made here on our Twitter page, but on our Instagram page at weather.jamaica, on our TikTok page at Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page at Weather Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there, as we may post throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. So we can definitely see on the infrared satellite image that was posted the blow up of convection, a lot of thunderstorm clouds across eastern, central, and western parishes in Jamaica, especially on the south coast where we see these sparkling white dots that we know represent some amount of lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes. And there are a lot of reports of these terrible lightning flashes occurring. We know the drill: when thunder roars, go indoors. Lightning is extremely dangerous. And even the See Jamaica's YouTube channel was confirming the rainfall. This is the look at Crossroads, and we definitely saw the rainfall that was taking place, moderate to heavy, Even had some flooding across portions of Kingston. And we definitely have the confirmation from some of our followers with the rainfall in their area. JLS rain in South Manchester. Them still a scam way, stating black clouds and thunder in Bull Bay. Bay underscore cookies and cream. Heavy in Portmore. Heavy thunderstorm too. Dante and Portmore as well. Even on our Facebook page, we had the comments coming in. As a matter of fact, we had a picture from Marcia Freeman after 1 p.m. today, Manchester Parish, and she highlighted this image showing the dark clouds setting the stage for the afternoon convection that was expected. We also have Shade Bridgman hen stating raining in St. Catherine feels so good, thank you Lord. Maria Went, which is right, raining now in Manchester Southern with thunder. Even on our Instagram page, we had a comment coming in. Realm underscore JA, Portmore is getting it fully, finally. Just the key to them later. Whatever that means. 1876 base stating Kingston a washway, I love it. Mandy Beb stating I was really wondering if rain was gonna fall today because the heat last night, never normal. I was melting in my Portmore house at 10 p.m. Not normal. Then we have unbothered.lisa stating I am loving the rain because the heat last night wasn't normal. Chini underscore loss. I'm just glad Portmore get some rain. Unique underscore dot chan. Raining in Portmore with lightning and thunder. Redays stating raining in halfway tree. Designers PRYD. Heavy showers, lightning and thunder St. Catherine. Official underscore Silverstones. Heavy showers in Kingston. Even have some comments here on our last YouTube video from this morning. Neil Davis 671. Hey, good day. Lots of clouds and showers in Stony Hill, St. Andrew. We also had Dang Gagan 4701. Nice heavy showers about an hour ago. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much, boss. Even here, we have Rain Bless 5271. A barrel downtown, a whole heap of water on the road, especially downtown and halfway tree. And we definitely have the confirmation of the rainfall here that caused a lot of flooding, as TVJ News showed some persons with their houses inundated, the neighborhoods definitely inundated in flood waters. Not only TVJ News, but even on a Jamaican Métis group Pink Wall, showing videos of streets washed out or turned to rivers. Some more clips here, vehicles going through the flooded roadways. Guys, remember, turn around, don't drown. These vehicles can easily break down. Even downtown Kingston was getting a nice little washout. Lots of flooding taking place, as we can see here. It wasn't business as usual at all. Even on the Jamaica Gleaner website, we saw the flooding that took place in parts of St. Catherine again. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of Jamaica to see exactly what unfolded, we can see the low level flow of clouds that built up into portions of the central and western portions of the island, just as predicted. We had those cumulus clouds becoming mid-level rain clouds, then getting higher and becoming some cumulonimbus thunderstorm clouds, and we definitely had that. And the wind shear wasn't even that strong enough to destroy these thunderstorms at all, so that caused more of the rainfall to linger, especially across portions of St. Catherine. Section of Kingston got in on the mix. Even my portion of St. Thomas got in on some isolated showers during the afternoon. And we can see exactly what's taking place right now. It's a matter of fact, let's reload these images. So we can definitely see those high cold cloud tops as represented by the yellows, oranges, reds, blacks, not to mention the sparkling white that represent thunderstorm activity. So that does indeed confirm that southern Jamaica got the brunt of the rainfall. More cloudy conditions across northern Jamaica than anything else. And we can see on See Jamaica's YouTube channel that it does paint a picture of where we had the rainfall today. Eastern, central, and western Jamaica. More so southern Jamaica than anything else. Even although it's not 100% accurate, it does paint a picture that yes, we indeed picked up on some amount of rainfall. And if we take a look at the latest Cuban Doppler radar images, we can see that there's not much left happening across the island. Just a few spots of rainfall right there to the northeast of the island. Some of that will definitely make it onshore to affect sections of maybe St. Mir, Portland, St. Thomas. And we can also see some rainfall bands right here to the southwest of the island, as we can see by the greens and the yellows that will represent light to moderate rainfall. If we take a look at See Jamaica's YouTube channel, even going back in time, we can definitely see where the rainfall was definitely doing a number on Crossroads. Not only Crossroads, but Halfway Tree definitely gotten on the mix. But there's nothing happening right now. We can see the nighttime view not showing much of anything. Even the Flatbridge camera, we actually had some rainfall there earlier today, but most of it has dried out by the time we are recording. If we take a look at the temperatures right now, we can see about 27 degrees Celsius in both Montego Bay and Kingston. And by about 4 a.m. on Wednesday, temperature should dip down to about 25 degrees Celsius in both Montego Bay and Kingston. As relates to the temperature forecast for tomorrow, this map from the GFS is valid for 18th on Wednesday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Wednesday. And we see Jamaica right here embedded in some grays and some slight yellow colors that we know represents average to slightly above normal temperatures, at least 1 degree Celsius above normal to be exact. And we know the normal temperatures for the month of July are about 91 degrees Fahrenheit. When we take a look at the thermometer, 91 degrees Fahrenheit is about the same as 32.7 degrees Celsius. So we should be receiving anywhere from 32 to 33 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on Wednesday. As relates to the Saharan dust forecast for 5 p.m. on Wednesday, we can see that the Central and Western Caribbean, yes, getting in on some Saharan dust, but it is more dwindling than anything else with these lighter shades of browns. What we don't like to see is this vigorous plume as represented by the darker shades of browns. That's stretching all the way from Africa across the Mediterranean region. If anything, the Leeward Islands are going to be getting in on the brunt of that. The Windward Islands might get in on it later on, maybe into Thursday, into Friday. But the Leeward Islands, they're definitely going to be experiencing some very hazy skies. The skies won't be looking blue at all. Definitely hazy. Not to mention triggering some amount of respiratory illnesses in some persons, whether it be sinusitis or asthma. Please ensure that you have your meds ready. Either way, all of this is pushing from east to west, so it wouldn't be surprising if all of this makes it to Jamaica by Thursday into Friday or even Saturday. So ensure that you have your meds ready. We just hope that most of these darker shades of browns, this vigorous plume, has dwindled down to more of these lighter shades of browns by the time it makes it to our area. As relates to the wave forecast for tomorrow, we can say about the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus that we're still getting in on those 0.5 meter wave heights to 1.5 meter wave heights across the majority of the Caribbean. And that's because the winds are going to be averaging anywhere from 10 to 20 knots at most, maybe even gusting to 25 knots to the south of Hispaniola, to the north of Colombia as usual. And we see the general direction from the east. But look at this. This is the forecast for the winds across Jamaica. And where do we have all of the air piling up? Across mainly sections of some northern and western parishes. So there's definitely going to be a pattern change tomorrow. It's not like today, where we had all of the air piling up across sections of some southern parishes, bringing more of the thunderstorms to our area. So definitely a section of Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne definitely going to be getting on most of Wednesday afternoon's rainfall. All of that air is going to be piling up there. So those cumulus clouds are going to be building during the diurnal convection during the afternoon. And there's going to be some amount of maybe cumulonimbus clouds, bring some amount of isolated shower, if not some thunderstorms across northwestern Jamaica. And we know northern Jamaica, we're talking about those parishes on top. So Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Miriam, Portland. And western parishes, you know, we're talking about the very same spot. So more so Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, Trelawney than anything else. Those are the areas that are going to be picking up the most in the way for rainfall on Wednesday afternoon. But before we get there, both of these maps from the Euro and the GFS are valid for 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday. It's actually 1 a.m. Jamaica time. And where do we see the blues represent rainfall? Across maybe coastal areas of some southern parishes, sections of some northern parishes, and sections of some eastern parishes. And we see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus with this. So there could be some rainfall tonight into the early morning hours of Wednesday. And it has already begun, considering that the Cuban Doppler radar images are showing some amount of greens and yellows across the waters to the northeast of the island. As a matter of fact, let's reload these so that we have the very latest. So the very latest is as of 8:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 7:50 p.m. Jamaica time. So this just came out 1 minute ago. I love it how the Q1 Doppler radar has been very up to date recently. So we can definitely see the rainfall right there to the northeast. So it definitely is on track so far. Some of this rainfall could definitely make it on land later on tonight. If we take a look at the rainfall forecast for tomorrow, so this is what we're referring to. Afternoon rainfall definitely in store. Keep in mind that this is valid from GFS for 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 2 p.m. Jamaica time. And we see the blues that represent rainfall across sections of Westmoreland, Hanover, sections of St. James, Trelawney. The Euro trying to incorporate more of some central parishes, but we're working with the consensus. We don't see that across central parishes on the GFS. But we do see the consensus for some isolated areas for eastern Jamaica. So the forecast is definitely for some isolated afternoon rainfall across sections of some northwestern parishes and sections of some eastern parishes than anything else. So that's exactly what's going to be posted on our other social media platforms. Afternoon rain for northwestern Jamaica and eastern Jamaica. And both accumulated precipitation forecast maps from the Euro and the GFS are in consensus that there's going to be some amount of rainfall within the next 24 hours. And we're indeed grateful for that. We're in the month of July, we usually receive less rainfall, and especially considering the rainfall that portions of the island experienced so far with the tropical waves, Hurricane Beryl, the trough today. I think we are way ahead of schedule in terms of what's expected during the month of July. Some areas more than others, and we can see that because July we usually have less rainfall in Kingston, as you can see the bar graph here in millimeters. In Montego Bay we usually have less rainfall as well, up to 3 inches of rainfall. You can do the math, millimeters in Kingston, inches in Montego Bay. There is a nice little graph right here doing the breakdown. 1 inch is representing 25 millimeters of rainfall. So you can do the math, and you can also visit weatherandclimate.com to find out about your specific parish and the amount of rainfall that you usually receive during the year. Alright, so that is it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. Alright, so as usual, Northern South America getting in on some thunderstorm activities. Northeastern Caribbean, Puerto Rico, the US and British Virgin Islands getting some rainfall. Numerous troughs across the Greater Antilles. Thunderstorms across portions of Central America. And if we take a look at the Doppler radar images of the northeastern Caribbean, we can make out exactly what's happening right now. Some hit or miss isolated shores to the north of Guadeloupe, maybe affecting sections of Antigua and Barbuda. The waters in and around St. Martin, St. Kitts and Nevis. The waters to the south of the US Virgin Islands definitely getting in on some bad weather. And we can see waters to the northwest of Puerto Rico definitely getting in on some bad weather as well. And if we take a look at the Doppler radar images from earlier today, we can definitely see that St. Martin was getting in on some rainfall. The US and British Virgin Islands was getting in on some rainfall. Section of northern Puerto Rico and eastern Puerto Rico was getting in on some amount of rainfall. So I guess some areas were definitely getting in on the rainfall, just as predicted in yesterday's video. And if we take a look at the rainfall right now across the Barbados radar, we can see some rainfall right there out to the east of Barbados, some rainfall passing through St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines definitely getting in on some rainfall as we speak. Even Grenada, maybe the northern coastline, getting in on some sprinkles. Don't see much happening across Tobago, or maybe a section of northwestern Trinidad was getting in on some amount of rainfall earlier. If we take a look at the weather view of Doppler radar images, we can see some rainfall across sections of western Florida, section of western Cuba, section of the Yucatan Peninsula, northern Guatemala, northern Honduras, section of Colombia, as well as section of Suriname. And if we take a look at the forecast for tomorrow, both of these maps from the Euro and the GFS are showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Wednesday. And we can see that there's definitely going to be some greens and some yellows that we know represent anywhere from 0.1 of an inch all the way up to 0. Maybe up to 5 of an inch of rainfall. The reds represent up to 1 inch, up to the purples they represent up to 3 inches of rainfall. And we're indeed gonna be getting another rainfall, especially across sections of Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia, section of Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, French Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago, sections of Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Barbados, sections of Martinique, St. Lucia, Dominica, Guadeloupe, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Martin, St. Kitts and Nevis, US and British Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico might get some more rainfall. Just some isolated spots for sections of Haiti and Dominican Republic. Section of Jamaica, if the rainfall hasn't occurred already, it's definitely going to be expected, especially across northwestern and eastern Jamaica within the next 24 hours, just as stated. Sections of the Bahamas, sections of western Florida, sections of western Cuba, sections of Guatemala, El Salvador, southern Belize, Honduras, and even sections of eastern Nicaragua. And we see that both the Euro and the GFS are in consensus with this rainfall forecast. And we know that when they're in consensus like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for now. Thanks for watching.